Well, anyway, 3 months ago, I was down just here at the Rotunda Square, and I was doing fine, and your men came along, and they sort of got me clear on the stuff, and they said, oh, stay, you're okay, because it's another 3 months before we take any action. So I've been down there, and then I asked them about here, and they said, oh, you're okay here. Anything up to Barclays Bank. Now that was what they told me 3 months ago. Now on the maps, this is included. That's up to Cars Lane, right up to there, and then it's all the way up to the Corporation Street.
And then up Corporation
Street, yeah.
The main area is from sort of Chamberlain Square, Victoria Square, New Street, down to Rotunda, and then here. Offshoots are Corporation Street and through the building down to around the markets.
Through, okay.
So
the market is free, is it? Outside the bars?
So around the rag market, that's within the PSPO. Yeah. So you can preach, you can dish out literature, because one of the restrictions is you can't give out literature apart from religious, political, etc. Because obviously that's exempt from it. So you can give out. So obviously you see the people giving out the pamphlets and things like that. That's fine. But what you can't do is act in a way which obstructs the highway.
So there will be obstruction.
So that would be obstructed.
Okay. Now,
so what we said, you see those the Christian ones with the like a trolley. Yes, like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. We're kind of going to be reasonably relaxed
so
about
the
that,
wheels
because that is movable.
Well, it's like the old people have.
We can see, so we can say that if you're moving around, you're not really causing obstruction. If you set
They're
up,
not moving around.
they shouldn't be, otherwise they are going to be
No, they told them this morning that they have a special license. They told me from the council.
You don't need a license. You don't need a license to issue religious.
They have one. That's what they said to me. They told me the main guy came down. They phoned him and he came back.
I don't know what license. You can get. There are different types of consent. So you have to get permission to give out leaflet samples, that sort of thing. But you get that consent from the council.
But now, how does that work with what you earlier said? We can actually have the freedom to give out literature.
Yours that's the commercial. Yours is purely for religious information. Is exempt. Okay. But if you were a business and you had somebody outside giving out leaflets, it's outlawed under the PSPO unless you've got consent. Now there is a consent, it's called free literature distribution, free literature. So you apply for permission. The whole purpose of that is so that we can regulate the numbers. So we can say, well, someone's already doing that on high streets. If anyone else has, no, you can't. It's the same as you can do charity collections, but you have to apply for permission from the council. And the reason is because we don't want the streets full of people collecting. So we only allow like one charity per day to operate in a set area. So because the public don't want 50 different charities trying to get money off them in just the length of high street. So there are consent schemes. So it is an offence under those consent schemes. The benefit of the SPL is it's an immediate fixed penalty notice. Sorry, what's an immediate fixed penalty notice? So if we ask you to move and you don't, a fixed penalty notice.
And then they wonder what God of heaven's going to do to those. Nothing nice.
So the thing is, what's the bottom line then for preaching? We'll say for gospel preachers, would be, it looks like, that they can raise their voice to a certain volume within, and you'll determine that.
No, you can raise your voice, you just can't use any amplification.
Okay, and then you can pass out gospel literature at the same time.
Literature
in this area.
In this area.
Okay.
Like I said, I think if you do need to carry your leaflets, if it's something that's relatively movable like a trolley, I think you're likely to be sympathetic towards that as long as you're moving fairly regularly. But if you set something up, obviously you see these other different religions, they put gazebos and tables and all sorts of things. That's
because of obstruction. Okay. And if I had wheels on that, that's still obstruction because it's in there.
I think because it's, I mean, what I would say is that what you've got is relatively small, but unfortunately we're having to sort of do a hard no to be careful.
I understand, you can't
to get the message across.
I don't think it's gospel.
So,
okay, it's just a joke.
So yeah, dishing out literature and having like I say, something like that where you can easily move it around, move from place to place.
Right, okay. That's
Like we're a different group than they're obviously Christian.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, so if we're standing here and they're standing there, that's approachable.
No,
that's all right.
It's you on your own.
Yeah, well, it's not because we're not using amplification.
It's not cumulative. It's you doing what you're doing. It's nothing to do with what they're doing. Okay. So if you're handing out leaflets here and preaching, it doesn't matter what other people are doing because there's nothing to do with it.
Sure. All right. Yeah, sure. So my situation is that I've got a little amplifier which I play Christian songs through, and then I speak over the songs, and it's from here to the wall probably 8 yards. I won't project any further than that. But just because it's amplification, it's not the volume level, is it?
I mean, technically it is amplification.
It is.
What I would say is that I don't know. One of the things that we're doing in engagement this week is to see what the problems are in terms of, and so I'll have to think about it and see what we decide. But to my mind, if you're playing music that's lower than the background level, you could argue, well, I'm not amplifying anything because the sound is lower than me talking.
And the point is, I come into a big open area to do it, so I'm not in a narrow street.
No, I understand. It's we'll probably need, I'm not dealing with the noise one, I'm dealing with the sort of trading obstruction one, so I'll have to speak to the officers leading on the noise one. But I take your point that the level of noise is lower than the background noise, therefore how can I be accused of amplification?
Yeah, and the decibels, I mean, the decibels are relatively low on this. But just as an option, why don't, it's not for me to say it, but just as an idea, anyway, concept, your guys who are policing it, they could have just on their phone decibels. You could look at it and say, oh, that's above it, so we must stop that person.
Yeah.
But if you keep below the decibels...
I don't know, maybe when we review it, we can think of things like, obviously the easiest thing was just to say amplification.
Yeah,
that
sure.
was a fairly simple and straightforward
Because
thing.
then...
I mean, let's face it, we've got a problem in the city centre. It's full of illegal street sellers, it's full of people setting up stores and things like that.
Totally 100% behind you.
If in a month, 2 months' time, you know, we've quietened things down, it's become a lot less congested, then things like playing a little bit of background music probably may not be an issue then. But I think to start with, you know, most things we're saying, like these people will argue, well, we're up against the shop, so we're not causing obstruction. Now, under strict legislation, if I want to walk up that piece of path, I've got to go around. Now they could say there's plenty of room. It's not about how much room there is, it's the fact that you're taking up. So we are going to do like a hard no to start with, because as soon as you start to, at the beginning, it's kind of like as few exemptions as possible. And then if things settle down and become much more easier and manageable, then perhaps we can look at interpretation of the that's it to begin with. It's pretty much.
I was asking you guys earlier on, has this now coming in on Friday, is that actually law or is it a process for 1 year of sussing it out?
It's 3 years.
It's 3 years, is it? Okay. So it's covered for 3 years. And is that an assessment period or?
So what we did is we have to go out to consultation. We have to have an evidence pack as to why we're bringing it in. Obviously the consultation was pretty comprehensively in favour of the PSP. probably more related to other preachers with big loudspeakers who are playing. And unfortunately,
We're all on the same boat. We're all in the same boat. Because noise is noise. You can't amplification. You can't say, oh, they're okay, but they're not okay because it's still amplification. I understand that.
so there is a 6-week challenge period, so you can challenge.
Break the law for 6 weeks.
No,
Wow.
no,
We're okay.
you can challenge. You can challenge the whole PSPO in court.
Oh, okay. No, what I do, I'll just clear out the area, find a spot where, it's not on the map. Outside, that's the only thing I do.